Social media has changed significantly in the past few years, and 2025 is going to set a new standard for how you can actually monetize your following. And it's very different from what we've seen in the past, several years, especially during COVID. The experience that we've seen there is completely different from what is going to work right now. And in this video, I'm going to cover exactly what worked before and what works now and what the difference between the two is, so you can actually plan this year and actually have the correct expectations for how you can manage your social media and how you can actually make money from it, instead of just relying on luck and just quitting your job, saying YOLO, and so on and so forth. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jordan Parker. I am currently running my fifth business, and I'm helping creators make more money, make their income, and build their own business. So if that interests you, let's talk about social media and using it to actually build a business and not just get a bunch of likes. Because likes are cool, but I never managed to pay anything with likes. I tried. I was like, hey, you want to get some of my likes for this coffee? And they kick me out every time. I don't know why. Anyway, let's get into 2024 and 2025. 2024 and 2025. All right, and I'll be drawing it here in this pretty table because it looks better than my handwriting. All right. So in 2024, what you did is you made content. Obviously, a very important part of social media growth in general is we want to make a bunch of content. This is obviously going to be the same in 2025 because we're not clinically insane. We know that to make anything, like to do anything on social media, you just need to make good content, and that's it. And I'm assuming that you have something to make content about. Just making content at random about 17,000 topics doesn't work really well. And this comes there comes the first big difference, which is in 2024 you could just make content about personally interesting shit, just things that you like, okay? And this is fine, and there was a lot of people talking about picking a niche and doing all of that stuff, but just talking about stuff that interests you was always kind of working. And if we go a little bit backwards in time, if we go to 2023 or 2022, like you could just do that and that worked perfectly. Then at some point we started getting into the whole niche thing, which I frankly don't think that's the way to go either, but this is a big niche. This is fine, this is okay, but it is very misguided because niches are for ads. In ads, you get a big drop down and it says, who do you want to advertise to? And you have no idea who you're speaking to. The niche is your only selection of, who gets to see your content. So picking a niche and picking the correct stuff from this drop down can be very helpful with your ads because that can save a lot of time there and that can save you a lot of money, and that can be very, very handy. On social media, though, picking a niche is far less prominent, and it can always be almost comical because you see people like, hey, I help with fitness, but I only help gay, lesbian aunts of uncles of my dad, and it becomes this convoluted thing which makes no sense at all because you're targeting a completely random person that doesn't really exist, and it's a hyper specific thing that doesn't necessarily apply to what you're offering them, and that can create a very weird situation in which there's a lot of people you could help, but you're not helping them because they don't fall into this arbitrary niche. So in 2025, you won't be focusing on niches, you'll be focusing on problems. And of course, to get to a problem, you first need step number one, which is people. People. So we start with people. We find what kind of problems people have on social media, and then you make content about this specific problem. And yes, the same rule that applies to niches, like pick something that, like pick one singular niche, works exactly the same way here. Pick a single problem. If you solve 17 problems, it's far more difficult. Like it's, if you have to fill 17 cups, it's gonna take more time than filling one cup. And this cup in this case is how much people trust you about this specific problem. And if you're trying to, convince them that you're good at those 17,000 things, it becomes very difficult. Trust me, I tried because I can do a bunch of things. And when I try to market that, it becomes very, very difficult. So it's fine being able to do a bunch of things. Don't market all of that. Pick one problem to solve, get known for this problem. You can change later. It's okay. So I'll finish this by just scratching the S from problems because it's a problem. It's a singular problem that you want to solve. So you make problem. We make content, not problem. We make content about a single problem in 2025. In 2024, we were making content around what we found interesting or what our niche wanted. Then this content, the goal was get a bunch of followers. Like we wanted to get a lot of followers, get a lot of followers. And that was cool. Like having a lot of followers meant a lot of people can see your profile. Maybe you got a bunch of ad revenue from the specific network. Maybe you got a sponsor that paid you a bunch of money to post something. Maybe you can get a lot of affiliate clicks so people can go and buy some shitty software. Uh, why is it always the shittiest software that has the best affiliate programs? It's so sad. Anyway, and you know, the number of followers really mattered. The more followers you got, the better it was because we were relying on lower leverage ways to make money. So your followers, like they're as valuable as the actions they can take. So the amount of clicks they can make, the amount of affiliate purchases, or even the amount of newsletter subscribers for some info product that you can sell, but nothing super high leverage, nothing super pricey there, because we're looking at mass market appeal usually. Even with a niche, most niches were either way too specific or way too broad, and none of them works. A way too specific niche just doesn't have enough people, so you don't really get any growth and it doesn't work. And a way too broad niche just has too many people and you're basically appealing to everyone. And if you want to appeal to everyone and actually sell something, it's typically something very generic and pretty cheap. Now, in 2025, we will do something different, which is get the right followers. So instead of trying to get as many followers as humanly possible, and I realize that I am hiding this, which is not great, but if instead of trying to get as many followers as humanly possible, you want to get the right followers. So you want to be followers who actually have the problem you're solving and that they're hurting badly from this problem. Because the more I suffer from this problem, the more you can help me and the higher your value in my eyes is. Because that's the most important thing. The more you can help me, the more money you can make. If you're helping me make money, if you help me make a lot more money than I'm currently making, I'll be very happy paying you a lot of money. If you help me get super fit, I'll be very happy paying you a lot of money. If you only kind of help me, lose 2 pounds in 3 months, then I won't be really excited paying you a bunch of cash because, that didn't help me that much. And this is the fundamental thing. It's about aligning with people and helping them, finding ways that you can win and they can win at the same time. You're looking for those win-win situations in which when you win, your audience wins. And the more of those you create, the better. Now, trying to get a lot of followers, what we saw is everyone was giving everything for free. So the next step was give everything for free, which is fine if you don't understand business. So what's happening is you don't want to be giving everything for free, because if you're giving everything for free, the only reason why people should pay you is because they're grateful. You need to have something that they don't get. You need to have something that, even though you can be giving a lot of stuff for free, you need to have something that they cannot possibly get from you. And I'll give you the best example for that, which is one of the people saying that you should give everything for free is Alex Hormozy. I love his teaching, and this is something that's very correct for his business. But if you think about it deeply, what's happening for Alex is he says you should give everything for free, and he gives everything to a certain level. And to that level, it's perfectly fine because he gives everything for free to beginners who can learn that and get to the level they need to partner with his business where he actually makes his money. And he's not giving you the actual playbook on what he will do with your company. Practically because that's impossible, because he can't come and solve your company's problems, and that makes this business model so cool. But in reality, you're not getting everything you need from him for free. You're getting a good amount of information, but not all of it. So it doesn't make sense for you to be trying to do that, especially as a beginner, especially as a smaller business, especially targeting a much smaller audience that is much closer to your target market. Because For Alex, he will target complete beginners and experts all at once because you can't really nitpick that perfectly with content. But if you pick up a group of people on social media who actually suffer from a problem and you can help them with that, you can actually target them pretty well. You can figure out who they are and market to people just like them. You will not get a lot of followers, you will not get a lot of engagement for that. And you shouldn't give everything away for free, because if you give everything they need for free, two things will happen. Number one, you will not get the benefit from that, because the benefit from giving everything for free is you get even more followers. So this is kind of this loop of this feedback loop. You give more stuff for free, you get even more followers, and that kind of reinforces this affiliate marketing and that lower leverage monetization, and that works. Like, it's not super effective, it's not the best business model. I have a lot of issues with how sustainable it is, but it can work. But if you get the right followers and give them everything for free, you get very bad results, because they have no reason to buy from you, and you want them to buy from you, not just stick around and like you. So give give teach people your mindset, not skills. Even not mindset. Let's use ideas, because ideas is just a better way to explain this. So instead of teaching your skills to people, which is like, this is how you make a website, this can work. But if I'm out there looking for how to make a website, I want to build a website. I don't want to hire someone to build a website for me. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So you're giving that thing to me for free, like, it's just targeting the wrong people. If my problem here is I want to make a website, then giving me all of your knowledge is amazing and you're the best person ever, but I'm not buying your work from you. It doesn't help me. What helps me is your skills to build a website. But if my problem is I want to have a good website and you're selling me a website, then you still need to create this relationship. You still need to build trust. So you can't teach me how, because I don't care. I just want the website. I don't want to make it. But at the same time, you need to give me something to show me that you're a capable person, that you're trustworthy for me to work with you. So what you do is you show me how you think. You show me your big ideas, your big beliefs that create who you are. A website should be minimal. It should just do what it's supposed to do, and move on. It doesn't have to be super fancy. It doesn't have to have super sexy design. It can be one of those. Another one of those, completely opposite, can be a website needs to show your whole personality. It needs to be your greeting card to show who you are to people, and the design needs to be pristine. It needs to be amazing. It needs to be animated. Otherwise, you're not showing people who you really are if you're that colorful person, and you're missing out on the right audience. Two very valid ways of thinking about websites, which will attract very different people to buy them. And because those opinions on social media, this content would actually attract your best audience, because you attract people who think exactly how you think about your websites or your whatever you're doing. This becomes way easier for you to filter people, and it also gives them value, because it teaches them, hey, to buy a good website, you need this. And you can teach them how to hire people to make their website. You can teach them what kind of things they should look out for. You can teach them about where should they host this. You can teach them about the whole process behind the scenes. But focus on the thinking, on the big strategic decisions, not the tactical how-to guides. Tactical how-to guides are amazing, but they are amazing for beginners or for people who want to do it themselves. And people who are beginners and want to do it themselves usually are the least capable people to pay you. People who are very capable to pay you don't want to spend the time. They would prefer spending the money. So you want to save them a bunch of time here, and this is why you want to show them that you're a professional by sharing how a professional thinks, not how a professional does things. All right? So because here you're sharing less, that means that you'll be getting even lower growth. So this is not going to be a self-reinforcing feedback loop. In terms of getting a lot of followers, it is going to continue. This is ironically going to work in the same way with that very same arrow in terms of getting the right followers. Because if I follow you and you talk about how to make good websites, and how to think about good websites as someone selling good websites. If I don't like your thinking, I won't follow you. So the wrong followers will automatically leave because they don't agree with you. And that's the benefit of sharing your thinking. And this might seem very, very bad because you get so few followers, but the followers you have become valuable this way because they're people who actively resonate with you and who actively need your solution to their problem. Now, the next thing is, the next step is after we gave everything for free, after in 2024, we gave everything for free, we got a lot of followers, we gave them a bunch of things for free. We have low not impact, we have low leverage and low uh, involvement monetization. That sounds very fancy, but I'll explain it. It's not hard at all. And on this side, we have the polar opposite. We have high leverage and high involvement monetization. And both of those mean something very different. So in low leverage, low involvement monetization, you want to use you want to automate as much as the process as humanly possible. You want to have as few discussions in real-time events, so calls, one-to-one discussions and so on as you can. And you want to get people to spend a little bit of money, but get them to spend that little amount of money very, very easily on your side. So you put no effort or very little effort, and people spend a little money because they'll simply not want to spend a lot of money with you because they don't trust you as much because you're just giving them everything for free. You're showing a lot of stuff. You have a very small minority of people who will be grateful and who will want to pay you, but that's a very tiny minority, and they will not make they do not make you profitable. They do not cover your costs. They're great, but they're very, very rare. Which, if you think about it deeply, can mean very bad things for humanity. But we won't think deeply here. We are here to think about business and think deeply about business, not about if humans are doing a nice thing and they're a nice race. Let's escape from that part and watch anime. Humans in anime are super cool. Anyway, so here you're looking for low leverage and low involvement. So low leverage means you're selling cheap stuff, but that is low involvement as well. So that means you can send an affiliate link. Doesn't take much time, doesn't take much energy, so low involvement. It doesn't have much leverage because you're making a very small cut of the final price of the product. You can sell a cheap info product. Same thing. You can get people to refer them to something you can work with. You can sell ad spots, or you can take ad revenue splits from a network that sells ad spots. All of those work perfectly fine. They're not effective, but they work. If you have a huge audience, they can work really well. And by really well, I mean they can create good numbers. They are still not efficient. If you want to be efficient, you have to think differently. And the 2025 model of thinking is that. So here is we start with high leverage and high involvement. So what that means is you're selling something that's very pricey. You're selling something that can cost $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, some sort of a service that is high involvement, that you have to do yourself, that you have to help people with. But at the same time, it's very high leverage because you're making a good amount of money. From this money, you have excess money that you can reinvest in your business, you can reinvest in yourself, or you can invest in other people helping you, which can create the freedom that you want as a creator. And high involvement means you'll be having conversations, you'll be talking to people, you'll be joining calls, you'll be doing work for them, but it's going to be way more personal and way more involved than just slapping a cheap info product on. So very, very different mindset. Now, the goal of this part and the goal here is this is where the process ends. In 2024, you get there and this is where it ends. Some people will push hard and they will grow so big that they'll eventually be able to do the high leverage thing and sell something expensive, maybe. This might happen, but the majority of creators in 2024 didn't sell anything expensive because they couldn't. No one trusted them well enough to buy anything expensive. We're talking about 1% from the 1% of creators who actually sold something expensive. And if you did, that means that you did an exceptional job at doing that. And believe me, you're much rarer than you think. Now, on the other side of things, we actually started the business with a very high leverage offer. So here we can do two different routes. Number one is we can go the automation automation and hiring route. The automation and hiring route basically means you continue doing the exact same high leverage thing, but you basically get people to help you doing it or machines to help you doing it. So you make your work easy or you give your work to other people. If you do that, then you can continue scaling this and getting more customers and continue growing this sort of business while creating content and not go crazy and have time for vacations and actually build a free business that makes you free. Or you can, after you have that, after you can diversify your lead generation channels, hire the correct people and so on, create a lot of demand. So up until now, right until here, we didn't care about if you had a lot of followers because it didn't matter in 2025. But and with automation hiring, it kind of never does. Like you can have a very low amount of new customers, but if you keep them for a long time, if you have some referrals, you can have a growing business and you can scale that very effectively. You can reach 7-8 figures, no problem at all. But some people will not want to do that. Some people will want to do some sort of service for others and then move to something that is, that is cheaper, that's lower leverage, but it's lower involvement because they want the maximum amount of freedom. This is not the way you start in 2025. Again, this is not a way that you have the biggest and most profitable business, again, but it is a valid way for a lot of people because they want a business that makes them enough money, but at the same time is very low involvement so they can spend their time somewhere else. If that's you, this path is for you. So here you create a lot of demand. So you have a lot of money here. You have a lot of, by a lot of money, I mean a lot of money compared to your spending. So you have money to invest. So you start investing this money in cold email. You start investing it in ads. You start investing it in YouTube. You start investing it in as many different channels to create demand for your services you can possibly do. When you have that, you start scaling your email list. Scale your email list. And from here, you insert this part. So this is the low leverage and low involvement monetization. Now, because we are in a very interesting spot in which we created a lot of demand and we have systems to generate this demand. So let me put an arrow here, which is systematize, which means you need to create a process for doing this. You need to hire someone to do this for you, or you need to automate this in some way or form. So you have a lot of people coming in the doors for your business a lot, like every single day. When you can create that, when you can get 10, 20 to 50 new email subscribers every day, and your email list is scaling, with this form of high leverage, what we do is we cancel out this low leverage component here. So this becomes the low involvement monetization, which is usually going to be some sort of an info product sales. So you'll see info products, or we can see communities. Now, when we look at info products and communities, info products are far lower engagement. Communities require a lot of maintenance and a lot of upkeep. You would either have to hire one or several people to help you manage your community, otherwise it's going to become very boring and everyone will leave, or you sell info products. That still requires some time because you need to send emails to your list to build that relationship. So that's not 0 time per day, but you can manage this and grow that business in I don't know, 2-3 hours every day. That is perfectly doable, which leaves you the majority of your time to do whatever else you want. You can, build a family, build a house, build a boat, find the one piece, whatever you want. All of that is fine. Just keep in mind, info products are easier when it comes to the amount of time you need to spend on, maintaining them, but they require more upfront cost because you have to actually build them and you kind of have to create new ones every once in a while. Communities aren't that. Communities allow you to have recurring payments, but you have to invest the time in maintaining the community. I personally very much suggest focusing on people, and if you focus on people, you will always end up something closer to a community than info products, because communities allow you to keep your ear on the ground, so to speak, to understand exactly what problems people have and to actually help them the most. And when you do that, they will stay with you, and when they stay with you, they guarantee the longevity of your business. They give you referrals so you can grow, and so on and so forth. So when we get all of that and we combine all of that, we get to the final block, which is freedom, which is the final goal of creating content. And this means, and we have to add here plus income, because we want to have income with freedom. It's very easy to be free, but it's not as fun to be homeless and free as it is to be free and have a very good, solid, reliable income. Here uh, we still have freedom, but we have a big question mark, which is kind of the issue with this old model is that here we don't have the leverage in any part of the process. Because you don't have the leverage in any part of the process, what is very easy to happen is once social media changes their algorithm, you lose your following there, you lose everyone who is coming in through the doors of your business, you don't have the leverage or the capital to fix that problem, and your business disappears. I have seen that happen. I have seen people suffer from that. I have seen people fail with that. I have seen people lose massive followings because of that. It is very scary and very dangerous. You should never put all of your eggs in one basket. There are ways to improve this model. This is obviously the classic thing that everyone did, obviously the wrong thing. I'm focusing on that to show you what not to do. There are ways to do this approach a little bit better. I still don't recommend it. And of course here we have this, which is eventually like with automation and hiring, you do the same thing, which is hire an operator, and then you get to the same kind of thing, which is again freedom. Because if you scale the business enough so you can hire a competent operator to run your business, you just get to be a stakeholder. You just get to give your opinion. This can actually give you even more freedom, to be honest, because someone else is doing this for you. Here you actually have to write the emails. Here you don't do that. You have someone else doing the whole thing, which can be far more powerful. It is more difficult. You will have to stay in this stage for far longer. You need to know the game really well. You need to find the right person, which is very, very difficult. But if you spend, 5 years here, you can remove those two components from your business, which can be very tempting, because this is pretty much automated completely. This isn't. And here you can actually get someone else to run the content. You can get someone else to run the business. You can basically just take the benefits, be a company owner, then start investing in other stuff, or just build the next company, and then spend all of your time, building a house in the woods and digging wells and whatever you want to do. So yeah, this is the difference. And this difference is going to affect a lot of people. It's going to make business very different in this year. And the biggest reason for why we're seeing this is just everything was in a big ass bubble because of COVID. There were so many people hanging out on social media, way more than usually, and there are so few people creating content, and especially good content. Now, what we see is social media is a big ass gold rush. Everyone is running to social media, and because of that, this becomes less and less viable as an option. So this stops working and becomes far less effective every single week. While this is becoming far more effective, because unlike the masses of people just running towards social media because it's easy money, who are usually not the most qualified people, the people who are thinking and want to help people will be successful because they'll stand out from all of the competition, because they're there to actually do something meaningful, and because of that, they'll have an easier business and they'll make more money, they'll be more free at the end of the day. None of those two things will happen in 3 months, by the way, just to be very clear. Those will take time. But if you want those things to take less time, any business model to take less time, especially if it's a good one, you should join Creator Income. It's my newsletter. It's completely free. And I have a link down below. And you can get an email from me every single day helping you build your business and build it better and make more money. It's a pretty good deal. I'll say you a bunch on that there so you can have examples of selling and for me to make money. But it's fun. Don't worry. It's one of the most fun things that I do in every one of my days, and everyone who has read my emails told me that they're amazing. And if they didn't, I had to get rid of them forever. But that's okay. You will like them. Bye.